Hello, everyone. I think it already started, and I was in my space thinking about something that I'm going to talk about today. I'm Irina Baker. I'm a spiritual self awareness mentor and best-selling author and a speaker, founder of Radiant Mastery Academy. And today I'm going to talk about Easter and the events that created this holiday. So happy Easter to everyone. And I would like to make a disclaimer. So, if you are following a strict religious dogma and believe what the Bible and the authorities told you to believe since maybe your childhood when you had this, and this is your right, and you're welcome to do it. So, but please do not watch this live because I'm going to share my belief or my understanding of the events that happened during that time, the resurrection, crucifixion, and resurrection. And I have came to this understanding through my 30 years of intense spiritual path. So these are my beliefs. I do not want to impose them on anybody because everyone is entitled to their own beliefs, to their own understanding. As long as we do not hate each other, we do not intolerate each other, and so forth. So as long as we are united, not divided, I believe tolerance should be practiced. And that's why I say, if you strictly believe in your dogma, please do not watch this stream. So thank you for that. Anyway, first of all, I would like to share some cultural trivia, I guess. I came from Soviet Union, and at that time we did not have any religious upbringing, any religious thing, but we still celebrated Easter. So Easter was normal holiday for us. I mean, it was spring, and it was just a happy feeling. We would color the eggs. There was no bunny. There was no bunny. Bunny did not visit the Soviet Union at that time, apparently. At least I don't remember any bunnies, but we did have colored eggs. That's all we had. And of course, pastries and so forth. And that's the reason I'm saying all this, because I woke up today with a message from Russia. They send my friend in Russia sent it to me. So I woke up, and the first thing was the bunny. Now they have bunny visits everywhere, and the message was, Christ has risen. And I knew from the past I had to answer, reason indeed, indeed. So that's a common greeting on Easter in Russia. So they say, Christos воскрес, воистину воскрес is the answer. And so I am telling you, Christ has risen. And if you are Russian, you would say, has risen, he has risen indeed. So that's some cultural trivia for you, just something interesting, I think. And now I'm going to talk about why I'm here, why I scheduled this live, unexpected, unplanned, as I often do, and wanted to share this for the first time actually in my life, and for the first time during this 30 years of my spiritual journey. Yesterday I emailed the my community. I made the announcement or email. I sent an email to my community, and I said in my email, "So happy Easter!" And Easter is about resurrection, and resurrection is about raising. Right? He has risen. And I said, what about us? What can we rise or raise? How can we rise? Or what can we raise in our lives to commemorate this day? And this is just, you don't have to, right? But this is what I suggested. And I said, maybe you have to rise up to some kind of challenge in your life. Maybe that's what your decision would be, raising up to the challenge. Or you want to raise your boundaries with somebody and say whatever you want to say to that person that you never said before. Or in business, I hear a lot, in business, especially women entrepreneurs, keep talking about raising your voice, because it's internet. Right now I am publicly broadcasting to several platforms, and I don't know how my message will be received. Will it be received with a compliment, or will it be received with hate? Because we have plenty of world of both, right? Love or hate, both. And in the past, people got burned at the stake, and those who believe in past lives know that most likely we were burned at the stake for expressing our beliefs and for raising our voice. Because throughout history, no matter where you lived, no matter where you incarnated, including now in this lifetime, it can be scary, because authorities are everywhere, and authorities want to keep you under control and keep you under their influence, and you have to follow, or you will face consequences, and a lot of times consequences are death and some other things. So we know that common fear is fear of public speaking, and we also know the fear that people experience. A lot of women experience fear of camera. I don't personally, but there are people that a lot of women entrepreneurs need classes, need help in order to be in front of the camera and speak what they want to say, even if it's not really controversial. It's just their expertise, their work, but it's still scary. And so, having said all of that, I that's what I said. So what is it? And I'm actually challenging you as well. And it's not a challenge, it's just suggestion if you want to. What is it that you want to rise in your? What do you want to rise? Or do you want to rise to some occasion that you haven't been able to do it before? Or you want to raise? Do you want to raise your voice? And especially if you're in business, this is the direct question to you. Do you want to raise your voice and finally start speaking your truth? And I've been coming to that moment for many, many years, because in the childhood, my voice was suppressed, like for many, many women, children at that time, right? And I had to do a lot of healing. And right now I'm getting emotional. I'm feeling it. So definitely healing is happening here, because I have to go through my fear, not of public speaking, because that is not my fear, but the fear of expressing my beliefs about something that the whole world believes the opposite. And I'm not a fighter. I'm actually a collaborator. I am not resisting anybody. I am accepting. So this is my spiritual teaching, always on the spiritual path. You do not resist, you do not fight, you do not being aggressive. You actually accept. But it doesn't mean that you become a doormat. That's not for sure not the case. And so I said, so after I sent that email, I said to myself, well, you invited your community to do something, and I usually the one who does it first, and then my clients follow me, and students and communities. So I said to myself, what is it that you, Irina, is going to raise, or what challenge are you going to rise to? And then the thought came to me, and I do believe it's divine guidance. So the thought came to me that I needed to do the live. And it's actually, like I said, I wasn't planning on it. And you need to do this today on Easter, and you need to do it. You need to speak your truth. And the truth that I hold my spiritual beliefs in very sacred regard, because they're very sacred to me. I'm sure your spiritual beliefs are sacred to you. And because there are a lot of my spiritual understanding and beliefs are not really going along with what churches teach and religions teach and authorities teach. And I don't really want to change the world. I don't care about changing the world, because the world doesn't want to change or doesn't need to be changed, because I want to change myself, and I want to help those who want to change themselves. And that's how actually the world will change, if we change ourselves. So that's why I say I do not want to preach. I do not want to force. I do not want to impose. This is my truth, and my truth is only true for me. And if you happen to resonate with this truth, then you have accept that truth. If not, do not watch this and do not listen to it. And do not want, and I do not put any nasty comments, because again, this is just my truth and it's for me. And my message to you, to myself, that I am raising my voice, speaking out publicly, broadcasting to several platforms. It will be living on YouTube afterwards, and then I will put it on my podcast. So this is a public announcement that I'm walking through my fear of sharing my sacred beliefs with the entire world. Of course, not whole world will listen, but here, but still, this is walking through and stating your truth, my truth in this case, and not necessarily wanting to impose that truth on anybody. So I'm respectful of everybody's beliefs, and I'm respectful of my own beliefs because they're sacred to me. Having said all that, I it's not actually for you. It's actually, again, I'm speaking for myself through this, walking through this fear, and you witnessing my walking through my fear. And I'm feeling emotional because it's really happening, and I did not even expect that I will be that emotional. And this is serious. Okay, so having said all that, and now I will tell you, share my beliefs about Jesus, resurrection, and crucifixion. So because I didn't have culture, I didn't have religious beliefs or religious indoctrination in the Soviet Union. And in fact, now I think it's a positive thing, because I was able to, when I have grown, became an adult, I found my own way. I found my own understanding. So nobody was imposing beliefs on me. In fact, well, in Russia, they imposed the belief that there was no God and there was no, so religious was the opium for the people. And that was actually, yes, it was the official governmental belief. And it was definitely, we were indoctrinated with that. But because of that, I didn't have any cultural or any indoctrination in major religions of the world. So I was free when I came to America and woke up spiritually. I was free to decide what is it I want to believe in, what God I am going to follow, and what how I'm going to actually live my life and being on a spiritual journey. And so that's how my belief came to life, by studying, by downloading information, by working on my personal change. And finally, I have arrived to this particular conclusion. And the conclusion is this. First of all, it doesn't make any sense to me. Here we come. If you following the Bible, just please leave the stream and don't listen to it. Uh, it never made any sense to me that Christ died for our sins. Yes, since I do believe now we have sinned it, and it's entirely different story. I teach that in my classes with my students and clients, but it just doesn't make sense because God is so loving. God is the energy, and its energy is pure love, unconditional love. Why would anybody would have to die for you and sacrifice? Why somebody would be sacrificed? So that's one thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you. It's fine. I respect that. But it doesn't make any sense to me. And so I said, okay, what exactly then? What's the meaning of all this? Because I do believe it happened. I do believe it's real event. It happened in real life. And I needed to know why, because that's my favorite question. And I found the word why for me. And for me, it was Jesus Christ needed to show, it was his mission to show the example of ascension. We here actually not for to do more, to be more, to make more money, to be big, like big shots in the business. We're not here for that. We're here to ascend, eventually to ascend and leave this earth and go someplace else and become we have to start expressing conscious oneness with God. So we take our physical body, we ascend it, take it back to God, and we become one with God. So that's my belief about ascension. So our meaning of this whole existence is to ascend, to bring our physical body, to perfect our physical body and ascend. And having said that, somebody had to show an example. And at that time, there was no internet, there was no AI. So it had to be done in real life to show how it actually works. And so Jesus had to die and create public death, because if you have public death, then it's definitely you died, you have many witnesses. So you can show that there is no death. Actually, there is no death. We are immortal and we can ascend, and we have to ascend. This is actually our mission, our purpose of existence here on earth. But over the time, even at that time, people were so much on such a low vibrational frequency, they just didn't understand. Even his disciples didn't really understand at that time. They were grieving Jesus, and he said, why are you doing this? It's actually a good thing. He ascended, he became an ascended master. So people regard Jesus as God, Lord. Well, yes, it's true, because now he is exercising or expressing, that's the right word, expressing conscious oneness with God. He's an ascended master, along with many other masters who had walked the same journey, walked through the same path, experienced the same challenges, and have risen as well. So he's not the only one. There are others, and they're called ascended masters. And I guess since I'm talking about that, well, time has come, I guess, for people to know about ascended masters. At least, even if just one person who listens to me right now and will say, okay, I would like to know about more about ascended masters, I have fulfilled my mission at this point, on this day. So anyway, and the crucifixion was, so I also believe that the crucifixion was representation of our ego dying, because Jesus died. Jesus Christ didn't die. Jesus died. And Jesus Christ has two words. Jesus is his name as the ego, the personality, the physical body in the physical reality. Christ was given to him later for his achievement, spiritual attainment. And so Christ is the cosmic energy. Christ is the God power. And so Christ was resurrected. So Christ didn't die. So I look at it as death was the death of the ego, and that means we cannot serve two masters. We either serve our ego or we serve God. And believe me, in this mental matrix, we all serve the ego, not God. You can say whatever you want. Oh, I serve God. No, you don't. It's the ego. And so, because in order to start serving God, that's the journey we have to take. Ego has to die, and that's what. And I don't talk about physical death. Ego has to die inside, and then it will be resurrected as new ego, so forth. But then resurrection was Jesus Christ has risen. So actually, it's to me, it's more beautiful. It's amazing to know, and also Jesus said you will have to do the same and even more. You will be able to do, I'm paraphrasing, you will be able to do more like I did, and even more. And that's exactly what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to ascend. We're supposed to be resurrected into the life immortal and become ascended masters. So we're following Jesus' steps. So religions are right in this respect, in my belief, that we're following footprints of Jesus, but we're not. It seems like Jesus died for us, so we don't need to do anything. We can continue sinning here, doing all kinds of horrendous things in the world, and be fine because Jesus already died for us. To me, that doesn't make any sense. But when you believe that Jesus showed you an example, and you have to be on the spiritual path, and you need to let your ego go, and because then you'll be resurrected and brought back to God and actually start expressing conscious oneness with God and become an ascended master. So And I was shocked when I've read it, that every single person on earth has to ascend eventually. And knowing how people are, I think it will take us eternity to accomplish that goal. And actually, Jesus Christ right now is alive and working, obviously alive, and working very closely with the earth, because he gave his promise that he will not stop working with us earthly beings here on earth, souls on in the physical bodies, until every single one ascends. So that's quite a huge task to accomplish, and that's what he's working on. And to support my understanding, I found something interesting. I would like to recommend this book. Unfortunately, it's out of print. That's why it's so like this. I had to bound it. It's not a comfortable binder, but okay. But it is pretty. So it's called Jesus and Mastership, the Gospel according to Jesus of Nazareth. I believe this is a precious book that explains what I just explained. Maybe not. I don't know if it's exactly the same or not, but I absolutely believe in this book, and I believe this explanation. And so this is somebody, so his name is, the author of the book is James Cole Morgan. He, I believe, I don't know much about it in history, but he was a priest or preacher, something of religious figure. And he honestly wanted to know more about Jesus Christ and about all the events. So he was praying and praying and praying, and finally his prayer was answered, and I'm very happy about that, because this book, as it says here, was dictated through James Cole Morgan. So Jesus Christ appeared to this person, and I don't say appeared physically, it was through the consciousness. And streamed, Jesus Christ streamed his consciousness through James Cole Morgan, and that's how this book came to life. So I highly recommend. Like I said, it's out of print, but the old copy is still being sold, and I really, really recommend this book for those who are seeking the truth outside the religious dogma, outside the box. And I want to read something to you, very small passage. it's the it's what Jesus said. So this is from the words of Jesus. And if you don't believe that Jesus is alive, then, well, you don't believe in anything, right? Because if you believe that Jesus got resurrected, then he must be alive, right? So anyway, again, everybody's beliefs are whatever you have is perfectly fine. Okay, in order, so Jesus Christ said in this book through this person, in order to correct any misconception regarding whether or not I'm alive or dead and how I'm functioning as I help mankind, I would like to say I'm alive, and it's in bold, in black. I am alive. I'm living on the spiritualized earth plane in the same body I spiritualized and raised some 2,000 years ago. Here goes our confirmation. He has risen. He has risen indeed. It's truly happened. And spiritualized means he started expressing he perfected the body, brought spirit into the body, and started expressing conscious oneness with God. Oh, and actually, here it says, I am a master expressing conscious oneness with God. You will receive complete instruction on how you too can achieve this state of mastership if you desire to do so, and are willing to make the effort. Thus, you will be using your true potential powers. God bless you. Jesus of Nazareth. So, that's what I wanted to say, and it was scary, and I did it. And I'm not going to delete the stream, it will be available. And this is my walking through my fear or my hesitation. I didn't feel it as fear, but I felt very, very protective of my beliefs over these 30 years. I did not share them in public, only only to very small degree. It's like in the past, they were esoteric schools who were teaching the same stuff as I believe in or came in touch with, and they were not for masses because again masses would not understand, masses would be hating, masses would be intolerant, and masses would be burning them at stakes. And that's why they were teaching these truths in secret, in silence, in very separate esoteric schools. And I cannot be grateful enough to be privy to this understanding, to this information. But now it's time to speak out loud for the masses, only for those who are willing to hear and who are willing to accept it. If not, it's okay. And I want to finish with something that I have received on my phone. So, right before that stream, I prayed to Jesus. I specifically connected because Jesus can hear all of us. Every ascended master can hear all of us, and you can connect with ascended masters anytime you want. And I connected and I said, because I am following Jesus Christ, but I'm not following Jesus Christ as a religious seeker, because I am on my spiritual journey to ascension again. This is something that this is the first time ever I'm declaring on live anywhere to out broadcasting. And I follow Jesus Christ as my ascended master. And that's to me big difference. So ascended master guides me in my pursuit of spiritual truth. And so right after, and I said, okay, give the message, speak through me so I could give the message to people, whatever you want me to say. And I left it at that. Well, guess what? And I always trust that the right words will come. And right before I started the stream, I got the message. That's why when it started, I think I was spacey. I need to look at myself how it started, because I was receiving this message. So somebody, a friend, sends me a message, and I knew it was the message I have to share. I got tears in my eyes, so I felt it, and that's why I'm sharing it. And it said, I now call in every soul I'm meant to serve. The ones who are ready, ooh, teary, ooh, emotional. The ones who have been silently waiting for the message, the mirror, the medicine that only I carry. And it's a beautiful graphic. It's, if you can see, I know it's just like that. I didn't even mean to do anything with it, but this is the message. If you want to take it or leave it, but that's all I could say. And that concludes my going through my fear, and I'm not afraid anymore. This is it. Now, I want to also, of course, invite you to my masterclass. My masterclass is not about Jesus. I don't really specifically teach that in the beginning of my, only with my advanced students, but I'm inviting you to my masterclass. It will take place next Saturday, April 26th, and it's called Three Keys to Unlock the Door to Divine Guidance. And divine guidance is connection to the God, to connection to your personal divine. And so I would like you to get into my class, master class, and see for yourselves how it will change your life. Because again, I teach something unconventional, not according to everybody's teachings, and it's all connection to the divine. So go to radiantmastery.com/masterclass, register, and I will see you on my dashboard in our classroom. See you live, because I'm teaching live, and I hope you will come. Thank you so much, and happy Easter. And remember, only with divine everything is possible. Signing off.